Hello and welcome to This Day Devo. My name is Pastor Guy, and I'm glad you're here as we've been making our way through the New Testament, and you're doing great. You're all the way to the book of Philippians. Welcome to Day 1, Introduction to Philippians, and the first 19 verses, chapter 1, verses 1 through 19. The book of Philippians, or the letter to the church in a place called Philippi, a colony, a Roman colony on the Aegean Sea. This is a letter that is, I guess I've been saying how some of these letters are like theological hard hitters, and some of these are encouragements. And this one is an encouragement. This letter to the church in Philippi is a welcoming letter that is warm. It's personal, and believe it or not, Paul is writing this letter from prison. But yet, while he's writing from prison, this letter, if you would come with any way to just like briefly explain what this letter is, you would just use the word joy. Joy. Or you could use the word rejoice, because even though the Apostle Paul is in chains for preaching the gospel, he is delighting in Christ, and he's delighting in the people in the church in Philippi that he loves. They're bringing joy to his heart, and so the circumstances of life, take note of this for your life, the circumstances of Paul's life cannot get him down, cannot steal his joy. In fact, as he is sitting in this prison, in a first century prison, mind you, this isn't some white collar, beautiful mansion prison where he's getting three square meals and all the exercise and sunlight that he desires. No, he is in chains. And he says in verse 3, every time I think of you, I give thanks to my God. Oh, right. He's thanking God for the believers in Philippi, and it's warm in his heart. He just loves it, and it's just bringing him so much joy. Another quick piece of context for this letter, the Philippians in this church, if you remember back when we read Acts chapter 16, there was an experience where Paul went to Philippi, and it is in Philippi, this city, where he cast a demon out of a slave girl and ended up in prison there himself. He was freed by an earthquake and then led the Philippian jailer to Christ. And so we have that from Acts chapter 16, that window into what his ministry was like in Philippi. So an interesting place, a place where there was demonic influence, and a place where God showed up and overcame that evil spirit with the spirit of good and with the authority of Jesus over all principalities. And so these 19 verses are a wonderful introduction into how much he loves them. And one of the things that I want you to see in this is that apparently the Christians in Philippi, they viewed Paul's imprisonment as a setback for the gospel. They're like, man, we need you. You're a defender of the gospel. You brought Jesus to us. And you know what he says? You know what? Paul's evaluation is that his chains, that his imprisonment, have actually served to advance the gospel because it's stimulating other believers into greater boldness. They're being bolder in sharing the gospel. This is an experience you can see all through the book of Acts, all through the New Testament. You can see this all through church history, that when Christianity is most persecuted, it is when Christianity scatters and grows its most. Because it's in that pain, in that hardship, that we realize the temporary nature of everything else in this world, and our joy becomes real. And we're like, my joy is in Christ through it all. And so if there's anything that you see out of this, it's just that. It's like my joy is realized in the hard days. Because in the hard days, Christ remains king. And that is a joy, that is a truth, that is a fact that cannot be removed from your life. So cling to Christ through all circumstances and all struggles, and just rejoice that the gospel is being preached, and rejoice that the gospel has reached your life and reached your family for the glory of God and for your joy. And so God bless you. Welcome to the book of Philippians. We'll be here for a few days. It's going to be fun. I think you'll like this letter. Talk to you later. Bye.
Word sent down from heaven as the power of Christ